Good Friday morning, Jen.
Happy Friday, Kirk. Happy Labor Day weekend.
Can you believe that?
No.
Unbelievable. Here
No.
we are again. We say this every year, right?
I know.
Every year goes faster.
I know, it's crazy.
I know.
There's so much going on this weekend. I'm not even going to talk about it. We've got so much to talk about real estate wise. There's, the flea markets, the farmers market, there's concerts, there's live music all around. So take a look.
And we're supposed to have great weather, so get out and
Yeah.
do all those things. For last hurrah, sort
Last
of.
hurrah, sort of.
Yes.
What's going on real estate wise? It's been crazy.
It has.
Crazy.
We're still working our way up for the numbers. This last week, again, we kind of do 7-day running average. There were 29 closings in, we call it Dickinson County, which is basically the greater Okoboji Lakes area. 10 were commercial, 9 individual storage units. Again, as you well know, if you drive around the county at all, we have storage units everywhere.
Yeah.
So there were 10 storage units total, 19 residential, 3 were land, 10 single-family homes, 4 on West closed, and 1 was Jen's on Browns Bay. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then there were 3 condos sold and 3 townhomes sold.
Yeah. So it was 29. We've been sitting in the teens, so that's a big jump. I'm very excited about that.
Right.
And pended and active contingent kind of went down a little bit, obviously, because the closed one.
Right. But we've hung right in there.
Yeah. So 99 is the total, 51 is the pended, and 48 is active contingent. So I mean, it's going very well.
It is.
And
it is.
new on the market this week, we had a ton. There were 7 homes and condos actually on the market. So lots
That's
of
good.
things. And our office listed one.
Yes.
Nick Bornstead.
Nick listed a condo at the north end of the harbor, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's got a garage, and it's got a great deck overlooking the harbor. You kind of look mostly south. You have a boat slip space, so if you want to have lake access on the water, it's really in nice shape. It's got a wonderful open floor plan. The kitchen, if you stand in the kitchen, you're gonna look all the way down the harbor.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of cool.
I'm
and
very
that's
excited.
listed for $499, and you can give Nick a call or call our office or obviously our website. Check it all out. It's a nice condo.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to show it this afternoon, and so I'll also just post on Stoss Realty's story, just kind of little snippets
Perfect,
of it as well.
perfect.
So.
And last but not least, tell us about the one you just sold on Westlake.
Oh, yes. So it was a beautiful home, 53 foot on Westlake in Browns Bay. It sold for $1.85 million, and everyone was really happy with it. The house is already actually torn down.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh.
So,
It's
yeah,
just amazing
Yeah.
what happened.
it's crazy.
Jen, tell us about the subject matter for today. This is really, really interesting. And we have a guest.
We do. We have a guest speaker here, Drew Hagee with Northwest Bank. He is in the Milford location, and he's my residential lending expert. We've had him on before, not on Coffee Talk, but on a couple other videos. And I wanted to talk about getting pre-qualified today and why you should. And Drew kind of brought up a really interesting topic, and he said, well, a lot of people don't know what the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval actually is. And I was like, no, most people do not. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
It is confusing. Excuse me for interrupting.
No, yeah.
It is very confusing. Not only for the general public, for realtors, for bank. I mean, this is a great topic. I'm sorry.
Not
Talk.
everybody uses the same term. So we're going to term it out for you here. And this is what each one actually means.
Yeah. It's always nice for a borrower to come in and talk just to see what they can qualify for. So that's that pre-qualification letter, and they provide us information, and with that information and a credit score, we can kind of talk through where the bank feels comfortable, where the borrower feels comfortable, and then go from there. But that next step up is that pre-approval letter. That's when we verify things.
Okay.
So there you'd actually, document the income and verify that with the employer and do those checks that you would do during normal underwriting.
Okay.
But when you're talking to a borrower, you want to go out and make sure that, hey, if they're looking at a house, they got that pre-qualification, because then they know that they can afford it. They know that you're spending time at the right place instead of bouncing around and maybe not getting approved at the end.
Yeah.
And both those things are just nice for everyone because everyone's on the same page.
Yes. And people like to know, it's hard to, when you fall in love with a house that's too expensive, that's out of price range, and then everything else just doesn't seem perfect. So it's really important to know what your budget is and what you can what you can look for. So when you say,
So Jan, let me ask a question.
yeah,
Oftentimes when we do a purchase agreement or make an
Yeah.
offer in a home, the question comes up, are you pre-qualified?
Yeah.
So what you're saying, if I'm understanding, I'm gonna put it in layman's terms, is go to the bank and find out the basic qualifications that you could qualify for that specific loan, whether it be 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. And you can do that very simple, very quick.
Yep, the
Correct.
pre-qualification letter is very quick.
you can get
Yep.
same day.
Yep. They can come in within, we could sit down with someone, few minutes, get all that information, and it's just the information again that they're providing.
So it's not verified information. So
Right.
it could be not 100%.
Right.
Correct.
But it sure gives a potential buyer a great framework to start in.
Yes.
In other words, if they can qualify for 300, that's fine. Don't go look at $1 million house.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yep, and then when we say pre-qualified too, that's what the bank feels comfortable with, but the borrower, again, we wanna make sure that they're comfortable at it, because, they are the one that's gonna make the payment, we wanna make sure everyone's, working towards that same thing.
And so to get pre-approved, you obviously need some documentation. What documentation are you going to need to bring in
Yep.
for that?
For the full pre-approval, then you're talking your W-2s for the last couple of years, if you're a W-2 employee,
Okay.
if you own your own business, and we're gonna have to go into, some additional information there. Just everything else that comes with, a full-edged, underwriting, so,
Is
pay
2
stubs.
years kind of the benchmark for most
Yep.
banks?
Yep, so 2 years W-2s, get your most recent pay stubs, we need to have that to verify that, you do your income check,
Yep.
and then just work through that information.
Okay, perfect. And then let's talk about when you do these things. When do you go get pre-qualified? Do you do it before you contact a realtor to go look for a house? Do you do it when you're, 6 months out, 3 months out? Like when?
It's always nice for people to understand like where their credit score is, so that kind of plays into this, a large amount. So, we talk credit score, we talk your loan to value, and just kind of making sure that we have, we're working towards that same thing again.
Okay.
And if someone's coming in and they're getting pre-qualified, it's nice that they know where they're at.
Mhm.
So if they're thinking about a home, maybe 6 months out, well, start thinking about their credit, start looking at what they can afford, start understanding the buying process. And, that's that same time when I would recommend talking to that realtor, because you want to make sure that you're looking at the right places as well.
Okay.
Because you're going to know, a lot more, and, people just, they can find things, but they just don't have that expertise.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, Drew. That was I couldn't have said it better myself.
I think the thing that we always stress is this is a big process. It's probably the biggest step most people make in their life. Go to professionals every step of the way.
Yeah.
Go to a banker. Maybe you have an accountant or a CPA.
Yep.
Talk to them. Make sure,
You
quote,
can
your ducks
afford.
are in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to a realtor. Don't wing it. This is way too big a thing to just kind of,
Yeah.
Kirk, you said that perfectly. I mean, if you're not a business owner, buying a home is going to be your largest purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really anything that comes that close for most people when you're buying a home. That's your big commitment, and things do change. So I mean, most people are only in their home, that average 6-7 years. So
Yeah.
it does happen, but we deal with it every day. They do it maybe once or twice their whole life, or maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
And, we'll see. So.
absolutely.
Perfect. Well, Drew, thank you so much for coming on. And if anyone has any questions about interest rates or any lending questions, Drew is the expert. He is in the Northwest Bank location, or in the Milford location. And Kirk?
Also, one thing, we will put, we have kind of a chart for both those scenarios. We'll put that at the end of here so you can see, again, kind of an outline of the 2 different
Pre-qual
scenarios.
versus pre-approval.
Yes.
So.
Call a banker. Call a banker.
All right. Well, you guys have a happy Labor Day weekend. Cheers.
Cheers. Absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank you.